Good, good morning, afternoon, night, however you feel when you are joining us in this broadcast. I am your play-by-play caster username underscore Intel here, joined by Mr. Dividing by Zero. How are you feeling today?
He is, in fact, not getting paid. It's not happening. But neither am I, and I'm still feeling pretty good today. If it looks like I just got back from driving a bunch and unpacking to get to my setup, that's because I did. But now we're here and we're ready to take on what is probably an exciting matchup between Exodus and Capitalism. Exodus are going into this matchup at 2-1 in the overall record. Capitalism still searching for their
Out comparably, Capitalism, they've brought some debatably good teams to their knees, never really finishing it out. But Mr. Dividing, how do you feel kind of Exodus, entire new roster? They may have not had enough time to practice, so I don't know how well they might do kind of going up against a team that's, had 4 weeks of unbridled scrim time.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at the Exodus roster right now, the only real holdover from the first half of the season is Laser, who is a very talented hit scan DPS player in itself. But you look down at the rest of the list, and this is an entirely new roster here. The Gurgler, also known as Batman, also known as Copy Dog, moving over here from Capitalism, actually facing his former team today. We have also got Aurora that's coming over from Papega Parrots. And then Danny, Lil Laundry, Wizard. These are all free agent pickups for Exodus. Like, this is pretty much an entirely new team going into the second half of the season, which is, I'm excited to see how they mesh together. They seem to be pretty confident in how they want to play here.
And that's kind of the scary part. They did just pick up some free agents. And while that's amazing, you just got some players who signed up very late, they're ready to play in. But it's because they're late in. They don't have as much kind of in-game experience with the rest of the players. And Capitalism, I don't think they've gone through many changes. Obviously, they have Commercial, which is such a pop star type of hit scan. We've seen him play, not always the best, but he definitely knows how to show off, especially because he hasn't had much playtime this season. But Nova, who's gone up against other kind of high-level tanks and shown his dominance. Rocket being a consistent support. Remy's also very good. I have a lot of faith in Capitalism kind of bringing it home today. If they want to win, they need it to happen here.
Yeah, this is probably one of the best chances that they're gonna have today so far. I mean, looking at their schedule up to this point, you would think that they've actually had a very difficult one going against what is arguably the three top teams in the league, and they took double cap to map 5. They're the only team so far that has been successfully able to take a map off of Team Tenacity. So 0-3 doesn't really signify how good this team really is. And we're hoping that in the second half of the season we can start to turn it around, because I feel like this is a team that's too bad to miss out on the playoffs. However, I mean, too good to miss out on the playoffs. Reverse that around, my bad. Not meaning to insult them. But the big question for me is how they're going to deal with the whole flex DPS situation. Because from what I understand, both Commercial and Deflex so far in the season are more hit scan players. So are they going to go with double hit scan compositions? Are they going to move one of them over to play the more flex DPS role? I don't really know. Other than that, though, it's pretty much business as usual for Capitalism.
In this meta going double hit scan, I think that's more of like a death sentence rather than anything. I've just been too hard on hit scans recently. I think it's definitely a meta where you have to run flex DPS more often than not. A Pharah is absolutely brutal because McCree doesn't have the consistency to shoot you down.
Yeah, now I think we are about ready to head in as soon as we get the R's from both teams. Exodus and Capitalism are two teams that are really looking to turn things around after what has been kind of a tumultuous couple of weeks. Capitalism in game, Exodus out of game. But either way, both teams are looking to get themselves back on track as we should be heading into our first map of Nepal momentarily.
I love Nepal. It's definitely one of those more interesting maps, fairly enough. I think it gives you a bit of variety for not only dive, but brawl, especially if you decide, if you get lucky enough to go on to village. It's a lot of room, and I think it gives the ability for every team to show what they're made of. You know, it's not Lijiang Tower where you're mostly running Symmetra.
Yeah, though you could make Symmetra work in many cases, especially on a village where it's just kind of... I've seen it be called like the microwave before because it's such an enclosed space the point is, and it's easy for Symmetra to set her turrets up. But it's going to be Shrine that we're going to be starting off on right now. This map, a little bit more open. If teams wanted to play some more flying sort of DPS, that is very viable. However, both teams right now seem to be pushing in towards more of a brawly composition. The Gurgler and Nova locking in those Reinhardts. However, we are seeing Lil Laundry go on Diva, and Remy's going to swap from Winston to Diva, so I should just stop talking. It's actually going to be... well, we'll see if Deflex and Laser decide to swap off of Symmetra as they come out of spawn here. And it looks like they are both going to be staying, so it's a mirror match of the Mei Sim.
Yeah, look at that. We're already going to be seeing Capitalism taking control of the point, making sure that Gurgler can't really overstep the boundaries. Those Sim turrets are going to be enabling the Fire Strike to start shutting them down. And while Laser's stuck in the back line, it's not going to be turning out well for them.
And this is that difference that a couple more weeks makes when you look at Capitalism versus Exodus. They were just a little bit quicker off the gun. They were able to get to point just a little bit faster. Commercial set up a wall to make sure that they could take the space on the point, and then they were just able to overwhelm them with sheer aggression. Capitalism take first point control.
Now they take that teleport onto the high ground. That Maywall is going to block them off, but the Shatter managing to hit out Gurgler. The Immortality is going to save, especially with the May Freeze. So now it's all up to Danny. She has the window up, and that Shatter is going to hit everyone on Capitalism, but it's not looking too well. Both of the tank lines are going to be going down. However, the rest of Exodus are split. Danny's going to be found out while the Sim walls are being used just to split themselves up. It gives them enough room, but looking comparably, we see that Capitalism are working together on the back of the point, using that Maywall to block their Reinhardt from walking back in. They even managed to find out Aurora, so now it's a 6v5, and the rest of Exodus just want to back out and wait for the rest of their team.
Exodus kind of got caught in a teeny little corner, and it was just so easy for Capitalism to put up a Maywall between the Gurgler and the rest of his team and get themselves an easy Rhine Shatter kill. And you see Nova is now 71% up to another Shatter, even though he died midway through that fight. That's actually incredible ultimate generation from the Reinhardt of Capitalism.
How they want to start moving into this point very slowly. They have some ultimates, that window being used, trying to focus out the Diva, but Wizard's going to be picked out, but the Blizzard still gets used in. Nova, however, is going to be in your backline, just moving in, especially with that sound barrier, just gives them more than enough room to just play the game how they want to.
This has been just absolute domination from Capitalism so far. No matter what Exodus has thrown at them, they have weathered it and more. They're going to have the bomb from Lil Laundry to try and stall this out, though.
Yeah, look at that. The Flex is going to be using that window, and they managed to find out Gurgler, who just doesn't have the synchronization to be healed out. Now we see Learn popping that Diva Bomb split inside the shrine. That Symbol's going to be able to protect everyone, but they don't really even care. They're just going to ignore it for the most time being. Aurora does find out Commercial, but Rocket's able to find Wizard. Now they're looking for the stall. We're at 99%. Aurora's going to be gone, but the Wrecking Ball is slamming down on the back line of Capitalism. The Diva Bomb going far out. Interesting use. Remy is looking to try to remake kill. However, that's going to cost, so Remy's going to go down, but Noah's able to find Laser, had the Death Blossom. That was a big win condition. So Wizard and Gurgler just doing their best to try to make that space, but Gurgler is going to be the one found out, and the Shatter's going to be used on the Doomfist to deny them any value or one-punch potential. Now Laundry is not going to be able to have their mech for much longer as they continuously just be melted down, and the combination of the dive, pushing Aurora off the point, is going to be giving Capitalism the victory.
decent attempt by Exodus there to try and stall it out. But overall, I mean, we're only one round into this game, but we're already seeing the difference between having 4 weeks as a team and having maybe half a week as a team. When it comes to these brawl compositions, it's very team heavy, very coordination heavy, and it seems like Kappatilism are just a little bit more on the same page. The Gurgler's been caught out a little bit ahead of his team sometimes. The support lines are maybe not a little bit slower than you would want them to be in using their ultimates. There's just these teeny little miscommunications that has been punishing Exodus so far. We're moving on to oh shoot, I think I forgot the name of this one. It's this map, the map with the thing. Yeah.
It's a map with a big hole at the bottom, similar to Well. Now they're moving in Exodus a bit slower. Those immortalities being used so aggressively. It does peel in for Nova, goes down dangerously low, but it doesn't manage to help out Wizard, who gets booped off by JRG. And Aurora manages to find out Commercial. That's an even trade if I say so myself. It looks like Gurgler is going to be canceled out of the Shatter. Built it so quick, but not going to be able to find much. Luckily, Rocket does have the windows, going to be going down. Laser is dangerous. However, it seems Exodus is going to be the people to find the point, but a Gurgler goes down so early. Now the fight's recommencing. It's basically a 6v6. Aurora does manage to find out Nova. Both of these teams not having the Reinhardt, but now Exodus, they want to move in. They want to take control over that point. They have the window now from Danny, and Laundry is going to find a flex. They're hiding in the small cubby, doing their best, and their immortality is gone. They don't have much lair, as Commercial's going to be frozen down, and the rest of Exodus are going to be cleaning things up.
As Nova has a little bit of a dance party on the point. Yes, they do clean up. Laser actually commits the high noon at the end there, which I feel was maybe a teeny bit of an overcommitment because Deflex has one on the other side as well. In fact, looking over at Kappatilism, there's reason to believe that all 6 of their ultimates could be online at the end of this end of this fight. Of course, what is crucial is that Kappatilism were able to take the point back even as Exodus kind of took a step back.
Oh, they tried to do the combo, but it looks like that Bomb's really only going to be able to find JRG. And then we see Gurgler trying to charge the high noon, but unfortunately that's going to leave just Gurgler being punished by everyone inside of the team. And now the rest of Kappatilism, especially Commercial, are just going for everyone who has no shield.
Beautiful, clean double kill there from Commercial. And oh my goodness, the contest comes out from Exodus, but it's just a teeny bit too late. It's actually swapped over in favor of Kappatilism, and now even as Exodus kind of mills about just outside the point, Kappatilism has taken the lead in point percentage once again.
Sound barrier is going to be very necessary here. Rocket's going to use that window, but it'll be countered by Danny. The Blizzard being used, it is going to be countered out, and one looking a bit more effective. Nova is frozen, stuck on side of the middle of the point. Immortality being used for Exodus. They're able to find Nova out. Didn't have enough peel in the end, so it's a scrappy fight. They're looking to do their best. We see the high noon coming out from Laser, able to find out too, as he's continuing to melt down the rest of Kappatilism at 66%.
Yeah, and this is what I think Exodus has to do to be able to win this. You gotta put Laser, your star hit scan player, in a position to really pop off. He's doing that on the McCree right now, outperforming Deflex by, I would say, a decent margin so far, and based on that first map, I think the best chance that Exodus have here. Oh my god, the 6-man shatter from Nova!
Nova just pulled a bumper where he turns the corner, instantly hits Shatter. Gurgler tried to be very much an alpha and just charge it, but he just wasn't expecting it. Leads him open, absolutely gets shattered, and the rest of his team, they just gave Nova a free montage clip.
Yeah, that's going on Twitter right there. That is one of the prettiest shatters I've seen in a long while. Now 75% and counting for Exodus, trying not to go down 1-0 early. The Gurgler's going to have a shatter ready, trying to respond to Nova. They're also going to have Immortality field up and the Blizzard from Wizard.
They're trying to use that shatter out, not going to be able to find much. Rocket is looking to use that window combined with the high noon for deflects. The Diva Bomb falls down, finds Laser. It's an advantage for Capitalism. They lead in 2. So now we see them moving into the small area. JRG's able to find out Wizard while Danny's not going to be able to do much. That Blizzard place down is a bit more security because Lindry has to touch. Can't even use the Diva Bomb. It has to fall into the pit and hope to use it later. Gurgler gets frozen and immediately shut down. Now we see the Tracer have to touch, but the recall goes in and they're not going to be able to do much. They missed it, unfortunately. So we see Capitalism putting up a bit of a struggle at the end, but managing to finish out Nepal.
Yeah, Exodus with a decent fight there on the second map, but in the end, they do end up coming out on top due to what I think is honestly probably better communication, better teamwork, as what tends to happen in these brawl matchups. I think that Exodus has some really good individual talent on this roster right now, but we saw players getting caught out a lot. The Gurgler got sectioned off. I saw Wizard getting picked off early a lot in that map. Things that I think could very well be smoothed over, but I mean, I just think there needs to be more time. And the best chances, the best times that I saw Exodus really get an advantage over Capitalism is when someone like Laser or maybe Aurora with the boops got a nice individual play to put them up in the fight.
These players definitely have moments where they shine, and you're 100% right. I think when it comes to Overwatch, communication is your number one factor. That's what makes or breaks a team. You can have a superstar, but that star can't do much if you're not helping it out. So now Exodus, they get a moment to breathe. They get a moment to get coached. And more importantly, they get to pick their map, especially on Hybrid. I think that's definitely an area where they can start moving it around, because Hybrid is so weird at times. I don't feel you need the best communication if you just can play the game certainly well compared to Control.
Now look, what I don't want to see from Exodus is I don't want to see them picking King's Row. Please. Based on you played the Brawl Mirror pretty much into Capitalism for 2 maps in Nepal, and it seems like they're probably better at it than you. Pick Eichenwald, pick Hollywood, pick a map where you can go off of that brawl a little bit, put a little bit more faith into Laser and Wizard, who are 2 very talented DPS players, to really, and put them into a position to succeed. Because I think off of pure mechanics, I would actually rate the DPS line from Exodus a little bit higher than Capitalism. I think that in a pure 2v2, they are probably, I would rate them a little bit higher. Now, the Capitalism DPS are, of course, great, but I feel like Exodus needs to put a little bit more trust in them at this moment. So I would love to see Eichenwald. I would love to see Hollywood here. Be a little disappointed if they go King's Row with how that first map played out.
At first, I thought you were just doing what I normally do and just complain about King's Row, but you made some very solid.
I love King's Row. King's Row's awesome.
I love King's Row, but I've seen it more than enough. But I think you made some points I didn't even think about. They didn't do well against kind of the mirror matchup, so when it goes in, they could honestly thrive off of something like a double shield or some type of Fora composition on Eichenwald, especially on Hollywood. If your team doesn't have communications but decent mechanics at this level, then you need to break apart the enemy team's focus. You need to make them start making mistakes.
Yeah, and I think you're not going to get Capitalism to make very many mistakes when you're playing the Brawl Mirror. However, Exodus has chosen King's Row. So,
no.
I mean, I've never met team that isn't confident in their King's Row just because they've scrimmed it a lot, because everyone scrims it a lot. So I understand why they do it. I just look at how Nepal went. I look at how the Brawl v Brawl matchup went, and I saw how Capitalism seemed to really have the advantage in that situation, and I go, I mean, it just feels like you're putting yourself into the same situation.
You know the phrase shooting yourself in the foot, Mr. Dividing?
I have heard it a couple of times, yes.
All right, well, they shot themselves in the head. I think this is Not a very good decision. From your points and the evidence of kind of that first map, it was scared for the people watching at home, but there is a point to make, and I wonder what type of plan they're gonna run out. Kappatilism just look a bit more confident, and Nova, he doesn't look like he's sweating at all comparably against Gurgler, who looks like he's having a bit of moments where he wants where they want to push in, but the rest of the team can't.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that Exodus can prove us wrong here. I don't want to see a 3-0 because that's always just a teeny. That's always no fun. I like being able to cast for a long time. So I hope Exodus have got the strat on King's Row, or they're more practiced on King's Row than Nepal, and we'll see a new side of them. But man, just based on what I have seen just now, it's tough for me to put my stocks into Exodus at the moment.
Yeah, right now, Exodus, they feel like the underdogs, especially after that team collapse. They've never been the kind of a community favorite, but they've definitely been able to kind of hold their own against some very qualified teams. And even now, I think they just have more of a motivation to bring it back. They have kind of a what's the word? A point to make. I think that's the way I want to say it. They have a point to make.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that they can kind of say, hey, our team almost collapsed. Doesn't matter. We're just ready always.
Yeah, but I think Kappatilism also has are coming in here hungry to prove a point as well, as a team that I believe that's, as far as standings goes, is at the bottom or near the bottom.
Yeah, they're right above Papega Parrots by a single map.
They want to know that that they are worthy of a win, you know? They are currently 0-3. This whole time people have been saying that they are better than their record shows, and they just had a really strong strength of schedule to start the season. This is their time to prove that that those talks were true, and they can in fact succeed when they need to.
It's more of a flip of the coin right now. I feel Kappatilism, they've had a couple nooks and crannies stuck in them, and as you said, they went against some really good teams, while comparably Exodus, I guess you could say, went against the kind of mid teams of someone right now. I think the area for intermediate is so flexible. A lot of these teams are kind of here and there, especially the Marsupial branding, which people think would be great. Tenacity is kind of just showing them, especially MI6, who've caught my eye, and I'm really hoping to see. But I feel there might be some surprises. Exodus must be coming in this confident, like, hey, we may have this. Or maybe their brawl is just absolutely insane and they were just joking around on that last map. Maybe they're going to plan to run some AC 130.
I mean, I would love to see it, honestly. I'd love to see Exodus come out just guns blazing and put some real hurt in the Kappatilism stocks. As it is, though, it looks like we are going to be seeing pretty much the same. We've got McCree May currently showing for Kappatilism on the defense. Laser is swapping around a couple of things on the offense. So I'm not really sure. Got a quick pause because they forgot to change the specs, so they're doing that real quick. Laser could go back on McCree to just 1v1 deflects in the mirror. He had a decent amount of success doing that in the last map. He could go Reaper, as he was showing at the beginning. Really put a ton more frontline pressure on Nova, maybe opening up the Gurgler to get more shatters. You could also do something completely different, like a sim. Just go nuts. You could, honestly, on first point, you could try just running a pocket Pharah and see what happens.
Oh, that's such a good idea. I feel Sim is one of those characters that is in a very good place right now. But if you're absolutely crazy and your brain can start, moving around and you see things that we don't, You can do some crazy things. I don't know how much you've watched the Overwatch League, but Symmetra has been a viable strategy where you just run it and you have the Sim TP kind of in a different area and it enables someone to either use an ult, come out of it, charge. It just has so many possibilities and it impresses me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved Sim. I think there's a ton of utility and creativity that you can get out of the teleporter. Uh, there's a ton of TP. There's a ton of utility and creativity that you can get out of the TP. And she's also just a huge, also just damage dealer when you get her laser charged up. But seems like the pause is going to be a little bit longer than we thought, so we're going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll be back when the teams are ready to go. Literally the second we threw the break, they said they were ready, so
Uh,
happens.
I love a debate more than anyone else, though.
So yeah, Laser currently showing the Widow, not super unheard of on King's Row, just to get one shot off, see if you can get a nice early pick. Teams usually see this coming from a mile away, though.
Oh no.
They still haven't swapped specs! What is this?
They pause. Oh, they have to restart. That's gonna take longer time. At this point, I know Rocket hasn't. So there's a meme for Kappatilism's player Rocket. He's never won a map 5. So I think if they just waste time, it'll be considered a map 5 for like him gameplay wise.
Okay, I am going to trust that the teams have it fixed now. Okay. So as we are now restarting the whole startup phase of the game, on the defense is currently Kappatilism. Is Remy gonna stick onto the Zarya? I don't think so. He's still in spawn, so I imagine he's eventually gonna swap onto the D.Va. That is exactly what happens. And okay, we see the exact same thing coming out of Kappatilism. I'm just not gonna talk about Exodus right now. They're gonna change it. Yeah, so I feel like I've said everything that I can say about this comp already. We just got to get this game started.
I definitely agree, but I kind of want to talk about the possibilities that Exodus can do right before they come out. I think they may have some creative ideas. Wizard is shown to just kind of have some unique plays in the past, but I'm hoping Laser can get a clean headshot during the... Nope, just gonna give it up after one bullet.
No, and Laser actually swaps onto the Reaper, so that's an interesting little permutation between Exodus and Kappatilism. A little more close range, whereas the Flex is more effective in the mid-range.
They're trying their best to focus on Nova, but Nova had the immortality peeled out from that incredible Maywall from Wizard, and now they're being able to play it back. Luckily, Gurley manages to get a bit more ult charge from that brawl. However, D-Flex is going to be picked out. Was split off from the Maywall, was not being found out. And that Shatter is going to be able to find Nova. Bit of peel almost to help Nova out, but it looks like we're going to be seeing Gurgler kind of pulling in. Exodus looking a lot more accurate when it comes to their setups, and they're just going to be cleaning up the rest of the point.
Okay, Exodus, I see you. This is honestly looking really good for them right now. They set the tempo. They were aggressive. The Gurgler got the Shatter off before Nova did. Honestly, the team that sets the tempo tends to be the one that wins in these Brawl 1v1s, and they did a fantastic job of doing that. However, Kappatilism is going to be coming back in with all 6 ults.
Oh, they move really forward, pop the window from the side of Kappatilism, but we just see them Maywall it, and now that one ultimate's just gone to a waste, so we have to see how they prepare to go against it. They have 3, so it's a lot of room for improvement right now.
Yeah, as Exodus is trying to push through this little choke point, notoriously difficult, but the Gurgler gets a huge boosted Fire Strike onto Rocket. No Baptiste for the side of Kappatilism, and it's looking like they're going to be able to push through.
Yeah, that was incredibly unlucky. The way I want to say they did it is that they just took advantage. They popped ults first, boom, they win it, and now we see that we see that Kappatilism, they're gonna be running out with 4 ultimates, so they have a lot of room to just try to take back this point.
Lot of room indeed, but you see how Exodus are now pushing up forward almost to the end of point B. They are feeling themselves right now, and the Googler has another shatter that did so much the first time around.
They're using the high noon to speed in. Laser is popping the Death Blossom in the back, but it's a bit too far out. Deflex is able to get the 2K with the high noon, so Nova has confidence to start walking in. There's going to be no snowball on the side of Kappatilism. There will only be a stagger for the side of Exodus.
They do. Lil Laundry is, in fact, just getting staggered, gets stunned and taken out of the remake. It was a valid effort, but yeah, Kappatilism managed to hold on, but it was an expensive fight for them. They really aren't going to have much coming up this fight except for Remy's Diva Bomb. Maybe if Rocket has an insane healing fight, he can get the Amp Matrix up as well. But they're going to be playing into the Beat, into the Shatter, into probably the Blizzard as well.
Oh my goodness! Gurgler just turns the corner, hits Q, and shuts down any form of commentary. Looks like Gurgler is taking out the Chadness, is not afraid to style on Nova as they clean up the rest of the fight. And they're going to be able to possibly cap second point with this.
That's literally the same move that Nova pulled on the Gurgler in Nepal. Just running around the corner and shattering, and it worked just as well, just saying, hey man, I can do that too. And now it's looking like, yeah, Kappatilism are going to allow Exodus to take point B. 4 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock to try and finish this map. They still have Wizard's Blizzard. I'm just going to call it the Wizard Blizzard from now on.
Yeah. The Wizard Blizzard able to get Nova and base that immortality. So we see Remy pop the Diva Bomb out, wants to try to help the team, but in the end, it's a little bit of a dud. Commercial and JRG are going to be able to find 2, and they're using that window to try to help themselves out. The Flex doing a good job. The Maywall being the shield that they needed to have. And with the comeback from Nova, it looks like the Flex is just going to end things up for the rest of their team.
Yeah, Kappatilism once again managed to hang on, but they're going to have to hang on for a while. Still 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock for Exodus to break through, and the Gurgler has another shatter, as well as Danny and Aurora both having their support ultimates online. So there are a ton of tools coming up for Exodus here.
Oh, I love this aggression. However, it's kind of fighting them back. Commercial gets picked off after using the Blizzard. Deflex has to use the High Noon after the Shatter just so they can't move in on Nova. They find Wizard, so it's an even trade, but this Shatter's going to come out from Nova and the Sound Barrier so they can start continuously moving in. But Nova's the one who gets found out. They don't have the confidence or the security to just move in. The Maid's also returning back, so now we're seeing Remy get demagged and Gurgler's just being able to walk in on them without any worry in the world.
I've got to give props to Danny there. Her immortality fields in that fight were absolutely huge. The Gurgler was dead twice. Once due to just focus fire near the end, and the second time to the Blizzard from Commercial. And her immortality fields completely saved him, as now Exodus are reaching the end of the map.
Aurora's able to poop Nova and kill, and then nobody else can touch point. Laser's High Noon was the most beautiful LOS I've ever seen. And now Exodus breaks expectations. They cap point with 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Almost felt like Kappatilism was caught with their pants down, not being able to keep up with that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I said we had to see a new Exodus in order for this to work, and a new Exodus they are. Instead of just sort of taking the aggression from Kappatilism, Exodus have been the ones to be the aggressors. They are playing fast, playing loose, and honestly playing well. You know, and I love to see that from this team, but now we need to see if they can do the same thing on the defense. It's easy when you're the ones who are trying to move forward on the defense now. It's a little bit more tricky, as it's looking like we're going to be seeing another mirror matchup.
Quite possibly. I want to give a lot of love to Gurgler. I think Gurgler right now is helping Exodus shine so bright. Not only is Wizard helping out using those Maywalls to isolate out Nova, but Gurgler's making an amazing pace of pushing forward. And I don't know if the supports have just decided if our tank's gonna go, we might as well, or if the communication is starting to click inside their heads.
You know, if that attack was anything to go off of, I think the communication might have started to click. But we need to see a full map here, which means this defense is absolutely crucial for Exodus. By no means do you ever want to go down 0-2 in a series. Commercial's
Oh,
staying on this Widow a little bit too long. The rest of the team is up to the statue already. They kind of have to wait for their Mei to join them.
oh, but it looks like Exodus are gonna give them a bit of respect. Oh, but Laser finds the flex. It's might as well not even have Commercial in the fight. They're just gonna start retreating. Give a little respect, give a little love onto Laser's name.
You can't play slow with these comps. You can't just idle around a choke point and wait for someone to come back from spawn because they were slow. You need to move fast, or else a DPS player is eventually going to take advantage.
Yeah, but that's even worse. Look at that. Nova just immediately gets walled off. Frozen Immortality comes out. Looks like Laundry is going to be picked. Their mech is gone, and they're going to be able to focus down, so the trade's somewhat even and kind of similarities. But they don't have that Diva, so they're pushing in. We're going to be seeing Exodus use that Mei while they want to find out Laser. They're going to be able to get it. Looks like Gurgler's just trying to keep up that shield, but the barrier's destroyed and just has to charge out, bringing the Mei with them. They don't really have much room for contest, but they still want to take it. Using the Shatter after the Mei wall combined with the window, they commit a lot of damage. Deflex just using the high noon, forcing them off, isn't going to be able to find much. However, Wizard and Gurgler are gone, yet the sound barrier is committed into the fight. Kind of these players just wanting to waste that time back as much as possible, and that stun hits 4, but in the end, it's just a cleanup phase.
I respect the never say die attitude from Exodus, I really do, but it does eventually get to a point where it's like, okay, they have the Ant Matrix up on the field actively, this is probably not winnable, let's just try to regroup, because now, I mean, they don't have a Shatter, they don't have an Ant Matrix, they don't have a beat. All of those were used to try and recontest a point that was pretty much already lost. And so that now leaves Kappatilism with a massive ult advantage going into Streets phase.
Bit of a... I know some teams call the phrase winnable, but you don't really need to take it too seriously. Now we see Nova and Commercial. They're sitting up. They wait for Gurgler to go out of position. Commercial's just perfectly waiting for it to use Mei wall. Just look how patient he is as the payload reaches the corner. And the Shatter goes out, but it gets canned. No, it doesn't. Just got canceled, but Wizard's Blizzard does get picked up. Remy's Diva Bomb and Blizzard are going to be able to shut things out. Laser does use the high noon, but not able to find much. I saw Nova just get ready to use it. I got scared. However, it looks like they even used sound barrier. I'm sorry, I didn't see that part.
One of the only tools that Exodus had in that fight was, in fact, the Wizard Blizzard, and Remy gobbled that up no problem, and with no Blizzard on the field, there was just no way. Looks like we're going to be seeing a recontest, though.
They really want to take it, and the Diva Bomb gets 2! The high noon from Deflex looking to help them out, but it doesn't give them much room. Looks like Andre is going to shut down Commercial while Nova, Remy, Deflex go back to the spawn room. That was an amazing recontest.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta give props to Exodus there. I thought they were going to give up point B, but they came back in it. I mean, Little Laundry, there was nothing special about that Diva Bomb that I saw. He just planted it on top of the point, and it got 2 somehow. And, you know, when that happens, you just gotta take it. Wizard has swapped over to the Reaper, I have to mention, which means they have to contest with these Mei walls, but if they can get up close, there's so much damage coming out of this DPS duo.
Both windows used at the same exact time, hoping to get the kind of more value than the rest. The immortality being used hopefully give them some room, but Gurgler gets a bit too much and is not able to survive. We do see Laser going inside the backline, but it's kind of out of position, especially with that Mei wall there. It's going to be found out that are pushing this payload. Wizards on the high ground looking to find them out, but Remy's able to find Danny, who was just too far out, and now this streak contest is just turning into a bit more of a stall than anything else.
Yep, so a little bit later than expected, but Kappatilism do take point B. However, it is about 30 seconds less than Exodus had up to this point. If they want to beat them, we need to see pretty much a flawless final section of King's Row from Kappatilism right now. And they're playing into an Exodus team that has 5 or 6 ultimates coming up soon.
Deflex gets hard shielded, uses the high noon, finds Aurora, Laser gets found, and now they're just wanting to move in. There is no reason why you just don't commit. You find Gurgler and you get that mech so pressured out that you get all this space for the Streets phase.
And what's beautiful was they do all that just with the High Noon, which means they have pretty much every other ultimate on the board to try and zone Exodus out from being able to contest here.
All the ultimates are coming out. High Noon, Blizzard, Diva Bomb. Gurgler's gonna be charged out. The Immortality not there for them. Exodus is not in the running right now. That Diva Bomb plays so perfectly. It's gonna force everyone out. And we see Kappatilism manage to cap with 2 minutes and 23 seconds. So about 23 seconds of a time difference. But I think Exodus kind of shot themselves in the foot with panicking at the last moment.
Yeah, I mean, in Kappatilism's credit, I said we needed to see pretty much a perfect point C, and that is what we got. I don't think the payload really ever stopped moving during that last phase of Kings. And that was because they really just kind of stepped their foot on the gas. Deflex got a nice pickoff with the High Noon, and the rest of the team really took advantage of it. And from that point on, Exodus was really on the back foot, kind of shaken, which means now they're at a bit of a time deficit as we go into extra innings here. But still, 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Still plenty of time for either team to put up an impressive extra push here.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. We're in a scenario where I think a full hold or stopping the payload anywhere close to first point is going to be hard for any team, mostly because once it hits overtime, there is just no getting off that point. You have no recontest after that, and you see a lot of teams start to panic, especially in this type of pressure. So I wonder how Exodus are going to be able to kind of break through that.
All right, as Exodus comes out, Laser is going to be on the Reaper once again. So once again, seeing this little permutation of these brawl comps, we got to see Exodus getting up close so that Laser can get value out of those Hellfire shotguns.
Yeah, look at that. They're taking the slow ensemble, and they stop their exit. However, it's not going to be able to do much. They don't want to go in the Maywa being there. The Immortality is going to be helping Nova out, but he's stuck inside of a room, not being able to get healing, and is going to be pressured out. Now we see Remy being able to even it up by managing to find out Gurgler, but their mech is now broken apart. So they have to try to find some valuable Rocket's windows, able to help find Aurora. Wizard trades in by getting out Remy, and the Immortality's there. So Rocket's doing the best he can by using his bullets, using that window to try to put in some damage. Nova and Gurgler are back, and he's going to pop out the Shatter. Nova just wasn't expecting it a little bit too much, and it looks like they're going to be able to cap first point.
The Gurgler has been doing a beautiful job so far in this map. I mean, kind of got outplayed by Nova on the first round in Nepal, but this time things seem completely flipped. Honestly, Rocket did a great job just kind of stalling the team out with his Amp Matrix, and it looked for a second like Kappatilism might be able to push back into this point, but the Gurgler put a stop to that real quick with the Shatter.
This man is alpha comp. Strategy and hormones. Now they're using that window. Luckily, Remy is able to eat, but that Blizzard is placed so perfectly. It manages not only to catch out Nova, but Commercial, so they have to use the Immortality to peel out Remy's mech. It's gone. They've lost their main. Take Commercial, the May. The Flex is able to find out Laundry, but it's not going to be helping them out much. And now, as they continue to move into Streets phase, this is going into overtime.
It is going into overtime indeed, but honestly, the further that Exodus are pushing it, the more impressive it is, obviously. But even more impressive is the fact that every meter they gain from this point on is into a team that has all 6 of their ultimates ready. Honestly, I think Kappatilism are looking for a flashy end here where they all just press Q at the same time and watch everyone fall.
Now this is the moment they're looking for. That Death Blossom placed down combined with the Diva Bomb is able to find out too while Gurgler gets traded. The counter bomb managing to find out Laser. Looks like the Immortality was able to peel them out, but they've lost the majority of the important players and they don't have much left to stop them. But that is an amazing spot to kind of get the point at.
Yeah, with the point so close to the end of point B, it actually, I think, managed to kind of cross that third corner there. In fact, it did manage to get past that third corner, which means, worst case scenario, Exodus are in a position where they can kind of try and hold that corner. It's a very interesting spot in King's Row because the attacking and defending spawns, while far away, are pretty equal. Which means, you know, the spawn advantage isn't that huge of a deal at that point. Of course, Exodus would love to be able to just shut things down at point A, Ooh, look at this. We got ourselves a bit of a switch up here. We got a For Mercy coming out from Wizard and Aurora, and Lil Laundry's going to swap onto the Orisa.
Mr. Dividing. If there's one thing I can say about that I love on Exodus comp, is how stallable it is. You know what I mean?
This comp seems really good at sticking down in one spot and just holding it for a really long time. Now, of course, Wizard should know that he's going to be playing into, at the very least, a McCree coming out from the flag, so that's what he's been playing the whole time, as well as Remy on the Diva will be able to give him problems. But if he's careful and is able to just kind of zone people out from being able to roll as aggressively as they want to, this could be an insane read from Exodus. Let's see how it goes.
Look at them. It's all on the pressure here. Seeing how they try to move into this, it's going to be tricky, especially that double shield type of variation. We just see Nova hard walking in, the immortality peeling, deflects, able to find out Wizard. That's in a very unresable spot as they continue to move forward, and now they're starting to break apart as Remy's able to find a roller, and Gurgler is going to be forced down. The Orisa not being able to do much. It seems that Nova's idea of hitting W just works.
Yeah, I mean... they did what they needed to do there. I liked the idea from Exodus, but Kappatilism, I think, understood that as long as you just kind of press W and aggressed quick enough that that Wizard couldn't really get much value out of the Pharah, you could just win the fight on the ground. And also Deflex picking off Wizard first was definitely not good for the overall prospects. Very quick point I take.
And now they're pushing in. Looks like that window's gonna help Remy finish off Gurgler. While that may do kind of a little, it's gonna be coming back. They basically have so much space to be taken right now.
Yeah, Kappatilism really needs to regroup here, because now we're getting to a point where one more good fight win from Kappatilism will mean the end of the map. Will mean them going up 2-0 in the series, and Exodus having to pull off a reverse sweep. The Gurgler's gonna have the shatter here, and so does Nova. Will the Gurgler be able to continue his dominance on this map, or will Nova fight back at the most opportune time? No, it's not canceled! It's canceled!
The shatter is absolutely free! And the rest of Exodus are going to be moving in to sweep it up. My goodness, Nova got picked out at a very bad moment, but it's still 30 seconds on the clock.
30 seconds on the clock, so Kappatilism can rush and get themselves back on the point for one more fight. Losing the shatter, though, is terrible for Nova. They're going to have both DPS ultimates coming into it, and Rocket and JRG are probably going to have their ultimates as well coming up soon. However, Laser and the Wizard Blizzard coming up on the other side, and Lil Laundry with his Diva Bombs have been on point this fight.
Wizard using that Diva Bomb while Commercial throws out his, and they're able to find out Wizard. JRG's the only person on the side of Kappatilism to go down. It looks like that counter Blizzard was more than enough to help them out while Laundry's trying to hold. There isn't much they can do, and with a slip of the Wizard Blizzard being deflected, it looks like Kappatilism are going to be taking the lead in a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, nice aggressive push coming out of Kappatilism to end it off there. They knew their win conditions, and they played around it beautifully. Yeah, I mean, I was wondering with this bomb if there was any sort of special things that came up that that allowed him to pick off 2 with it, but no, not really. He just kind of put it on the point. So, that's how it goes. I will say, from Nepal to Kings Row, huge step up from Exodus. They really looked like, at times, I thought they were going to win this map. But it is Kappatilism who do manage to pull it out and bring themselves up to match point. First win of the season, I must remind you, on the line for Kappatilism.
Yeah, it is a big moment. Exodus looking a lot better, as you said. They looked to have that communication. I think the thing that kind of cut them off at times was when it got to kind of an edge point where they had an opportunity. They just kind of choked, and it pressured them out. They're trying to get used to that anxiety working together and not hitting Q just randomly instead of coordinated.
Yeah, I think Exodus looked a lot more coordinated this map, for sure. I think the players were warming up a little bit. Laser had some great moments. Gurgler was doing great. Honestly, I think the support line from Exodus, Danny Aurora, they both stepped up huge in that second map. But it wasn't quite enough to shake Kappatilism. And honestly, that's a huge map. Because now Exodus are in a position where they have to reverse sweep That's never fun.
Yeah, it can be a little hard. I mean, giving Exodus a bit more love, I would say even Danny and Aurora possibly in the running for really good support duos if we give them a bit more time to kind of get some synergy. The next map will be Watchpoint Gibraltar, but while we give these teams a moment to breathe and set up, you can at home kind of go get some water, relax as we wait. We're going to be going to just a quick pause while we get everything sorted out. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Capitalism versus Exodus at the half mark. 2-0 leading into Capitalism, but Mr. Dividing, we've got some new swaps in. We've got Kate or Rogue, as they're going by right now, in for the roster, and I think this may cause some differences on Gibraltar.
Yeah, Gibraltar is the kind of map where people tend to put in their subs, and Rogue, aka Cat, is someone who is very well known for their Zarya. I think they were once known as Zarya One Trick, trying to sort of change that mentality a bit by playing some other off tanks, but I would think Exus is probably going to be trying to play a double bubble comp here, and that is why Cat is in right now.
People put a lot of hate on One Tricks, but if it works, it works, you know? I think this is also kind of in favor of Capitalism. I'm a little less on the side of Exodus, but I've seen how Capitalism plays this map, and they look confident when Nova's on the monkey.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we've had Nepal and King's Row so far. I haven't actually seen Capitalism play a monkey comp yet, but I will take your word for it for sure. As we get into Gibraltar, such an interesting map, kind of a divey map because of how much high ground there is, especially on points A and B. And yes, indeed, we see both teams currently locking in the double bubble. Wizard and Commercial are also going to be facing off on the Echo, which is going to be very interesting to see those skyward battles and those duplicates. Echo, people might think she's a little overpowered, but I think an insanely fun hero to watch.
My favorite part about Echo is when you get to copy someone else's player and then you beat them with their own team. It's kind of like an Uno reverse card moment in a literal sense. But
interestingly, I'm kind of surprised. Other than Laser on the Sim, which I imagine is going to be, he's going to swap off of pretty quickly. Both teams are actually running same comps. The support lines are going to be Ana and Brig for both sides. Ana, of course, can get a ton of value out with the Bionades and the Sleeps, but also a very frail hero. So the Brigs it's going to be up to the Brigs for the most part to make sure to defend them from flankers.
Yep, now they're moving out. It's basically an air battle while Deflex is looking to find someone low. Gurgler is making that space. He manages to help, and the burst damage is going to take out Commercial. Now the rest of the team on the side of Capitalism, they're not looking so great. Without that Echo, they don't have anyone kind of protecting their space. So now that payload just continuously moves for free.
Yeah, Laser getting a ton of long-range value there from the Ashe. Got a nice Dynamite out, which caused everyone from Capitalism to play a little more passively. And then the Gurgler jumps up and gets a pick off on Commercial.
Look on the bright side, Deflex is able to find out Gurgler. However, it looks like the hit scans aren't done just yet. Gonna be able to find out Commercial is gonna continuously just fight in the air, but it looks like they want to wait out. However, Deflex does extend a little too far out and is gonna be found. So Nova gets nanoed. He's gonna start diving in, I think. I don't see where he is exactly yet. Rocket is going to be found out. Now they're pushing in. A couple mistakes and might be able to start costing them a lot more than they think. Gurgler moving in is gonna be bubbled. Our Commercial is going to be found out. Now they have a massive disadvantage without the majority of their healing, so Deflex has to fight on the point, hoping to make something happen, especially with the Pulse Bomb. They're using the Primal Rage, looking to dislocate anyone inside of that room, and they just get a free cap. No one's really able to sit there and contest.
Commercial is having a rough time right now. Has been going down first in like every single fight. Either gets dove on or gets his head picked off by Laser. And you see it in the ult charges now. Wizard about to come up on the duplicate, while Commercial only about 70% of the way to his. Actually, going to point B, we have a lot of ultimates coming up. Exodus has everything except the Primal Rage from Gurgler. And Capitalism's gonna have everything except the Nano Boost from Rocket, pretty much. So expect an explosive fight coming up soon.
The Pulse Bomb is going to take a majority of the damage from Gurgler, but he just goes to get some healing. Danny does go down. She had Nano, so Wizard uses the copy, gets that monkey. Laser able to find out Commercial, and that Bob is going to be flying out of the fight on the side of Exodus. Deflex is able to find Gurgler, and with the copy now ending, they have no main tank. I think Capitalism now have a good kind of center control to move around with this momentum, especially with Gurgler gone. But they do get Aurora, so the stagger's going to be there for a little bit.
Yeah, as now it seems like we're in this sort of weird stagger fight where neither team is at full strength, but neither team really wants to pull out either. This is going to be big, though. The Gurgler antied, while Nova is nano boosted. He's just going to walk through and clean up. So this is now officially going to be Capitalism taking control of the point. And good timing, too. 3 minutes and 15 left on the clock. And most ultimates now off of the board. Commercial and Deflex are going to have their ultimates coming up into this fight, but the support ultimates from Danny and Aurora are going to be up to try and mitigate them. They know that Nova will not have the nano boost, so I would say put it on the Gurgler, and that's exactly what they do.
Rocket is dangerously low, but it's gonna be protected. While Nova's inside the enemy's backline, Deflex is gonna be doing a Tracer's job and picking off anyone who is dangerously low. Same with Commercial. I love the peel they did, especially Commercial's copy, now even using their own purple rage. And a massive sleep's gonna hit Gurgler before they can escape. So Nova, the anti's also gonna hit, and just 1 HP. That's what you escape with. That's a threat.
That was honestly beautiful play there from Capitalism. Exodus tried pushing in aggressively with the nano boost, but the DPS players of Capitalism just took them apart so easily. Rogue is going to have the grab up now, and he's going to use it very aggressively, and I don't think that... Actually, Nova uses Primal Rage. He's actually going to be able to sustain through it.
They also managed to sleep Rogue, however, they're just going to be put side in the enemy's backline and eventually get picked out. So Aurora uses the rally to try to help sustain them throughout this fight. And now it's just being countered by JRGs, especially Remy's Graviton Surge combined with the Pulse Bombs. Not able to find Gurgler, but Gurgler is basically dangerously low. So now they want to move out. Nova's antied combined with the Nano for Gurgler, and he has more room to just follow through. Deflex is going to be found out. We're going to be seeing the Primal Rage move in, looking for that Ana with the copy from Wizard. He has more than enough room to move in. Nova does get that Nano, but he got slept and now anti, so he doesn't have that liberty to start moving in, just trying to make some peel for his team. But it looks like the Wizard's Primal Rage is coming out. It's going to be able to find out Rocket and let that payload move at a nice 20 meter kind of at a second breeze of a cap.
Yeah, unfortunately the counter push for Capitalism wasn't quite there that time, so the aggressive push from Exodus is going to be what allows them to push through, and now the staggers start coming through as well for Exodus. 2 minutes and 20 seconds going into the last phase of the map. Gibraltar, very difficult one to full cap, considering just how close the defender spawns are to the final goal. But Laser does have the pulse bomb up to try and help him push across, and Aurora will have her rally momentarily.
And Nova just moving in, places that bubble. Now it's kind of the slow interpick. The moment someone dies, that's the opening you want. So Nova has to use the Primal Rage to keep himself. Aurora uses that rally, and it looks like Commercial on the Ash is going to be able to find out Laser who was looking for those picks. Nova forcing Gurgler very in an uncomfortable spot, so Remy picks them up. The Pulse Bomb inside the backline. Danny is able to find out Remy, but they've lost their monkeys, so there's nothing shielding them from the incoming attacks.
Yeah, and Point C Gibraltar tends to play a lot more like a brawly map than the first 2 points because there isn't quite as much high ground to take advantage of. It's just kind of more of a straight line with a 90-degree corner, and that sort of plays itself well to the sort of brawl mindset, and that's why I think we see Exodus stalling out just a little bit right now.
Commercial, Aurora are the ones down in this, while Rocket is trying to be peeled out, but it looks like the coffee monkey is going to be able to find but the Nano did go out beforehand, so at least it helps sort of the incoming fight. And what a beautiful Graviton Surge to slam down with the Monkey. We do see Rogue get that Nano boost, but Nova's Primal is going to stop them from getting any form of value with it, while Gurgler tries to go back to peel. The respawns are coming in for the side of Kappatilism, even if Nova's taking a lot of damage. Commercial finds out Wizard, and now it's kind of somewhat in an even fight. In a less than 30 seconds, that Pulse Bomb doesn't find much, but it makes them move around, and this is the moment you're looking for as we see the true type of brawl in the dive compositions move in. That bubble going in is going to be giving them so much space to start trying to find some target. Noah looks very anxious, while Commercial's able to find out Laser. That Graviton Surge placing down on the wall is going to be able to help DMAC Remy. Bob is there, is going to start peeling. Gurgler low, is hiding behind the payload, is going to be able to get that Buzzle. Wizard able to find out the flex. Looks like that Tracer's not going to be able to helping much. Remy goes down, and now the rally's there, going to be helping them move in. JRG's going to be able to get some healing, but now Gurgler's going to be placing that bubble, looking to find someone. JRG's not going to be able to come out alive fast enough, while Rocket's looking to build that net on, not able to get out fast enough, while Laser is able to get out Commercial with a Pulse Bomb, and it looks like even in overtime, while we see Deflection trying to stall it out, there isn't enough time. Remy's just doing their best, but you're already gone. 200 damage at half health is going to make sure that Exodus cap this with no time bank, but still, they now have a pretty good win condition.
I mean, why am I even here? You basically just casted for like 2 minutes straight, man.
It was such a long fight. I didn't know, should I end here? Should I let them go? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a great dive to start off there from the Gurgler gets a very quick pickup. And then it's all up to the races. Wizard, Rogue with the Graviton Surge, Danny and Aurora doing a great job peeling for each other. From that moment on, Kappatilism was on the back foot, and Exodus are able to take advantage and get themselves a map completion, which for Gibraltar is an achievement in itself. But now we are swapping sides, so Kappatilism, if they manage to, if they want to finish this game 3-0, they need to cap here, and Exodus can keep themselves alive in this match with the hold.
Do you really see Commercial walking out on this, Ash? I feel like this is definitely something that's possible, but I don't know how well you want to do it, especially if JRG sticks on that brig. I mean, they are in spawn, so things are opt to change, but what if they do run out on that? What would your thoughts be?
I mean, I don't think Ash is a terrible pick for point A, especially when you're expecting the entire team to basically be standing on this sort of high ground blue box area. If you can get a nice pick off with it, then I think it's worth it. And, you know, Commercial's now set up sort of in this backline area and is getting some good shots off onto Danny already, so I think I don't think it's a bad pick, really.
May just be me being overly cautious, always thinking you need a mercy. They force everyone off the bridge, and Commercial basically has the room. It's playing basically kind of a more mobile Widow, while Nova goes in, and you are correct, that anti was beautiful. Managed to hit Gurgler, so Deflex is able to find a rower who got hit by it. Danny's also dangerously low, getting poked out a tiny bit, and Deflex is just moving that payload while the rest of the team gets set up, finds Wizard, and Remy just comes out from the high ground, being able to find out Danny. It looks like Gurgler's going to be hit by another anti-Rocket, just playing aggressive today, and it looks like they're going to be able to have control over this point.
Look at those nano boost percentages. Rocket at 90%, Danny at 45%. The Ana from Kappatilism absolutely carrying right now. That 4-man anti-nade just took all the wind out of Exodus's sails.
And now we're going to be seeing them move in. Wizard is able to find out Nova, so the trade has to come from Deflect. Laser is dangerously alone. It looks like Remy with the nano boost is going to be popping in and start mowing people down. Commercial's Ash is making more space than I originally thought it would.
Look at Rocket getting a double kill there at the end, showing that he can frag as well. This, minute or so of the game has absolutely been Rockets, from my perspective, been the difference maker between these two teams. The Bionade and then the Nano Boost onto Remy to secure point A. But now Danny's going to be coming up on her Nano Boost to try and equalize, and several other ultimates are coming out from Exodus.
I love this slow fight going out, but it seems Nova able to get the kill onto Rogue in mid-air. Has been learning a bit from Fisher. The Graviton Surge combined. Nova's just freely able to move in. Come on. That's absolutely insane. I don't even know if the anti hit them. Nova was just there with the slam and primal.
What? I mean, I still can't believe it. I mean, to be fair, most of that was just him stomping on a grab, a beautiful grab from Remy, but man, you don't see Winston just light up the kill feed like that very often.
Now they're mad. They want to make sure they win this point, so they pop the grab, copy, nano, primal on the copy, and they're just moving in. Commercial tries to use the bob to help them out, but it's a little too late. Able to get 2 picks off of it, but they're down themselves.
Yeah, nice recontest coming out from Exodus there. They did have to use the Bob and the duplicate and the grab and I think the nano as well to do it. But they managed to stop it here, and stopping it here is really good because it is a long trek from the attacker's spawn to where the point is right now. And ticking time off the clock is the name of the game for Exodus right now. If Kappatilism is going to complete the map, they need to do it with as little time as humanly possible.
Definitely agree. We're going to be seeing them walking in JRG and Aurora using that rally. The nano does go onto Nova, so he's not scared. Moving back in, but he's lost his bubble. Kind of fell down, and they're just wanting to move that payload. Everyone is kind of just in a slow somber. They're looking to do the best they can, but it looks like Laser is going to be able to find out Commercial. Wizard gets Nova. It seems that Kappatilism just aren't having maybe the ultimates or the security to be able to kind of finish them off.
Beautiful, just defensive play there from Exodus. Bending, but not quite breaking. However, this fight's going to be tough. They don't really have any ultimates coming up, assuming that Wizard doesn't get the last 30% to his duplicate super quickly. And they're going to be playing into the grab, into the primal, into the pulse. They have to withstand this, or else there's going to be quite the time bank for Kappatilism going into point C.
Yeah, the Dynamite onto Gurgler is going to help give Commercial a bit more ult charge. While Nova goes in, he pops that Primal. He's forcing the support line to stay back. Combined with the Graviton Surge, he's looking to finish off Aurora. Wizard as well gets found out due to the Dynamite. Seems the Pulse Bomb's going to be cleaning things up. And now Kappatilism, they have a sizable time bank, but it's a time bank at least.
3 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock to try and equalize with Exodus. As far as overall time banks, I think both teams are currently at about the same pace up to this point. And now you see the ult bank for Kappatilism, and it's pretty barren right now, just a bob from Commercial. So they really need to try and build this back up.
Yeah, look at Gurgler come in. Is gonna get the nano last second to save his life, and that's gonna help out, especially with Wizard on the... Wizard getting that tracer, so they're moving in. They managed to get the support line, and Kappatilism, they just want to back up for a bit, even if they manage to find Wizard.
And they're able to win that pretty much just with the nano onto the Gurgler. He actually gets a kill onto Rocket right as the nano boost comes up, which is huge.
Yeah, now they're moving in. The Graviton Surge there, but the Bob is helping to peel them out. Commercial does get found out in the early mix, but now Gurgler's found. Deflex gets traded by the counter Bob. It looks like only one Bob can be the true, yet they're still moving in. Remy Sticky's going to be able to help build up a lot of charge now, both rallies being there. Wizard is gone, and Nova is left immediately woken up, so now he's moving in, but that boop's going to slow them down. We see Gurgler returning back into the fight with the Primal Rage. That Dynamite is looking to finish people off. Seems Rogue is having some trouble just trying to find some momentum going in, so Nova has to use the Primal Rage. Gurgler dying before they can invest theirs. We do see Laser still on the top of the bridge. That Graviton Surge placed in a kind of weird way, but is able to find out Rogue and the Brig, so they're moving. They're being able to find it. Now the payload's continuously just finding room. Commercial gets found out by Laser, that was kind of on the bridge high ground, winning that duel, and we see Gurgler using that Primal Rage, just trying to make some time. JRG gets found out by Wizard, and now that's not looking good. This is kind of where a stall phase moves in, especially with Rogue on the ball. Remy's gonna go down, and there's only 3 people on the side of Kappatilism on this point, and it looks like they just want to retreat and give themselves more room to move in.
This has been absolutely clutch from Wizard, getting that pick out of spawn, pretty much using those sticky bombs while still in spawn, and allowing them to hold on. Now a minute left on the clock for Kappatilism, and the payload is in optimal defender's position. Now, with 50 seconds left, this is probably the last really good fight that Kappatilism has to try and finish the map.
This is going to be massive. That Nano coming out. Rocket's able to find out Danny with it, and Gurgler. Now that Nano is just not going to be able to find much, especially because Danny had to use it. So they're pushing in, looking for Rogue Deflex, able to find out Laser, and that Anti's making sure to do much. The Pulse Bomb, too. What is clicking in the heads of Kappatilism? They just executed that perfectly. With a minute and 25 seconds, they have just a bit more of a timing, and this looks similar to King's Row.
Very similar to King's Row, with Kappatilism having something around 20-ish seconds above Exodus going into extra rounds, but I think that's a super big indication for how close this game has really been. Even if it ends in a 3-0 for Kappatilism, Exodus, I think, has brought it in a way that I don't think very many were expecting today.
I definitely agree. So, when it comes to kind of, I think, specifically Escort, I think it can be a lot harder comparably to a Hybrid to push that payload. On the Hybrid, you at least have that first point where if you lose, you at least know your win condition. But on Gibraltar, it is specifically underneath this bridge. That's often when you see that payload move. If not, sometimes it can often just go to the third point. You never really see it get held on the second. So I think Commercial picking out this Ash is going to help them a lot, especially because he helps to focus out Wizard.
Yeah, I was going to point it out myself because the Echo has been bypassed on Kappatilism. Instead of going for a double hit scan setup, the Ash Tracer, Wizard is going to have to fly with one eye open for those hit scan players at all times because they can absolutely wreck his day if they want to. And they want to.
So this is the moment you're waiting for. Will Kappatilism give themselves a sizable condition? Or will Exodus give themselves room to open it up into a 2CP? This is where the dive comes in, and they're just trying to fight over bridge dominance. Remy's still getting a lot of ult charge, at least from the initial poke.
Yeah, very high charge Zarya, which is what you love to see. The Gurglers are going to jump up onto the blue box, and luckily knows when to sort of jump in and jump back to make sure that he's not really in much danger as the payload starts pushing through what is collectively called the car wash.
Yeah, we see them moving in. The tank line's kind of split up, but Rocket's coming up on the nano boost first, and Gurgler's going to be found out with 10 seconds on the clock. Luckily, Nova gets found out, so Exodus aren't going to be too upset. Rocket's nano is going to be kind of the winning condition here, while Aurora helps Rogue type of move in, but it looks like Remy's going to be popping out with the nano boost moving in. JRG is going to be picked, same with Deflect, and it looks like that nano boost is going to be much, but the Graviton Surge is going to be helping while Wizard gets that copy. Laser able to find out Commercial and Rocket, and it looks like there wasn't needing anything. They just wanted time, and they're going to be able to cap the first point.
Laser gets himself into the back and gets an incredible amount of value. I thought that when Remy was high charge and got the nano boost, it was as good as over, but then we saw the kill feed start lighting up with Laser 1 kill, Laser 2 kills, Laser 3, and now even with the huge advantage on the Zarya charge and the early grab, that is going to allow Exodus to push forward, and Laser's down though.
Yeah, that kind of puts him in a massive ante. That hits both of the supports. The Nano may come out, but the Primal Rage is there, forcing them back. We see them now use the Graviton Surge, hoping to find someone, and with the Primal Rage from Gurglers finding, but they move off the point, and that's just a bit of an unfortunate. They were looking to just make some room, but that payload, it moves in a kind of unfavorable spot for the defense.
An unfavorable spot for the defense, but only if they get there. I think for a minute, getting past point A is still a pretty good accomplishment, and having to full hold Gibraltar for 90 seconds is a very achievable task, Intel. I've seen people full hold Gibraltar with 4 minutes on the clock plenty of times, so I think that Kappatilism fans should still be sweating a little bit in this situation.
You should be more than sweating. This is a full gym workout. Exodus already went through this on King's Row, so I think they've already felt how it is, and they seem to adapt really quickly during these fights. So I think this may be the moment Exodus has been waiting for, especially because they have just started cleaning out their fights and they are prepared.
So it all comes back down to this intel. This 1 minute and 25-second extra round attack on Gibraltar. Will Kappatilism be able to secure the 3-0 and their first win of the season, or will Exodus start putting together the remnants of a reverse sweep? Wizard is going to be on the Echo once again. Deflects after teleporting everyone to the other high ground. Is probably, I think, going to swap over to a Tracer. Just based on what I've seen, I'm right.
It gives them a bit of, I guess, room. You want that Tracer for the dive. It helps finish them out. But I'm hoping to see what Rocket can do. These antis have been absolutely massive securing these fights. But now those 25 seconds really only got them to push that payload to this point. While Nova moves in, he's looking to make that space, pops the bubble. That anti's going to be hitting Gurglers, but the bubble is going to be able to secure them. Now they're moving in. Nova taking a lot of damage. Commercial already dangerously low, but is going to be kind of peeled out for a tiny bit of time. While Nova's just forced off the high ground. It's still kind of an initial poke while these teams are waiting to try to find someone out.
Yeah, and the longer this goes, the more the payload inches further and further closer on. And Rocket and the JRG are gone. The support line for Kappatilism have been taken out, and Exodus surges forward. And this is going to be more than likely a hold right now. 20 seconds left on the clock. Exodus have put themselves in a fantastic situation to take the map here. Kappatilism has to rush to get back onto this point. Rocket's gonna have the nano boost though a little bit before Danny does, and that could be the difference maker.
I really hope so. Give them a chance. They still have to touch this payload. Nova gonna be the one doing so at the minute mark. Now they're fighting off of it. Gurgler's popping that primal range. Not really gonna care, but wait, can anyone really touch the point? No, Whoa. They can't! They were just focused on fighting on the high ground, and Gurgler's primal range stops them from doing anything, and it seems Exodus, they're gonna be taking that map win, bringing us into a 2CP type of scenario.
My goodness, Nova had the nano boost as well. He had the health and the stability to try and focus on the cart, but instead they decided to move on to the high ground instead, and unfortunately just forgot to figure out who exactly was going to touch. So, Exodus have taken a map here off of Kappatilism, keeping their match hopes alive until reverse sweep. Well, they got one. They're on their way.
Oh, it's 100% there. I think Kappatilism, they need to be taking their opponents a bit more seriously. Exodus have been adapting so quickly. They may be already synergized and clean, like just ready up, you know?
Yeah. This team has looked stronger and stronger as this series has gone on, and the momentum is very much on their side at the moment. And Overwatch is, in general, a very momentum-based, snowbally game, so I think Kappatilism needs to be figuring out how exactly they're going to be able to sort of right the ship here, as the Exodus are really starting to feel themselves now.
Yeah, I definitely see. But we're going on to 2CP, and
everyone's favorite.
Yeah, everyone's favorite, not even coming in. But more interestingly enough, we're going on to Anubis. How often do you see Anubis get played, Mr. Dividing?
Not a ton. Teams tend to enjoy Volskaya and Hanamura more often, but for what Kappatilism is trying to do, Anubis could potentially be them, at least on point B, trying to force that brawl v brawl once again that served them so well on Kings Row and Nepal. On point A, though, teams tend to go off of the brawl a little bit. They go double bubble, they go double shield, some snipers get played sometimes. What I would say is I would think that Kappatilism are probably going to be setting themselves up for a big point B hold where they can just win the Brawl v Brawl and then win the Brawl v Brawl again on point B on their attack. So Lil Laundry, by the way, is going to be coming back in for Exodus, showing that they're probably going to be playing more traditional Diva-based comps.
Yeah, I think Temple of Anubis, you can really only hold on first point if your enemy team just doesn't know what they're doing at all. That's at the moment where you start struggling. We are going to be seeing a swap Rogue out, Laundry back in. Hopefully, it's just not a fluke. Sometimes there's some memes where the players in, now the players out. We're gonna lose. But I really see Exodus trying to hold out. This is a very spam type of map.
Very spammy map, especially on point A. Yeah, I mean, that tends to be what 2CP is. It's just kind of the attacking team slams themselves into a choke point until either something works or the time runs out. So, but yeah, especially on point A for Anubis, there's this high ground that's right in front of the choke point that the other team can fully just plant themselves down on and rain spam damage, and just make life miserable for the attackers.
Oh, it can be absolutely annoying, especially because I don't think there's any correct way to follow in through Temple of Anubis, because you either go right, you go left, you try to figure out what type of game plan it is. And while I can see commercial kind of popping out on an Ashe or a Widowmaker maybe taking an angle, I think Laser and Wizard, you have proven me wrong, and kind of all my doubts. They have just shown to be kind of a better duo comparably to Commercial and Deflex.
Yeah, and I think there is a little bit of a sort of mismatch here on capitalism because I think that that map of Gibraltar kind of showed a little bit. I don't want to say weaknesses. I mean, capitalism is really lacking like a true flex DPS player right now. Commercial seems to be filling that role and is doing a decent enough job, but has been known as a hit scan up to this point and has been that's been what he's been known for. Shifting over roles a little bit, and I think Wizard really took advantage of that on times on the Echo.
You
So
make you make a very fair point, but we're just waiting for these teams to kind of get ready and settle down. But what is your expectation kind of for this map? For me personally, I think Capitalism, they start fixing up their jazz and they're going to be, I think this will go to like a 4-4 type of scenario where Capitalism just barely bring it home?
so honestly, I mean, I'm a huge believer in momentum in these kinds of games, and right now Exodus very much has the momentum. I also just want to see a map 5 because I think that's exciting. So Exodus wins.
Ooh. I'll have
I
to.
have very sound logic. I want map 5, so it happens. I manifest it into existence.
I've seen your tweets. You have very questionable decision making at times.
Hey! But I did predict Paris beating the Shock that one time.
All right, you know
And
what?
that is all you need, baby. You just need one W, and you can rest your laurels on that for the rest of your life.
Oh no, we've got Bad Parmachi with us right now. But
Did you call him Paramachi?
I don't know how to pronounce English. You know
It's
this.
Pachamari. Like that,
It's,
you've just totally swapped where the letters are. Whatever.
listen. All right. But we are waiting for these teams. It is gonna take a second. I'm too worried to bring us to a pause and then they immediately say R. So if that happens, at least I had my turn in doing it. So stay tuned in as we get ready to see if Capitalism finishes this out or if Exodus bring us into a map 5. Welcome back, everyone. What did I say? All right, it would happen. Managed to pull my own type of dividing as we are getting the R. So it's a second to move in.
Yeah, so we should be heading into Anubis at any second. I'm actually really curious to see what the strategy these teams have for point A defense, because we tend to see a lot of different strategies going into how they want to deal with that. Double shield tends to be the overall best strategy because it just allows the team to sort of anchor down on that high ground and just throw down spam damage. But the DPS they use to do that tends to vary from team to team.
Definitely see what you mean. But now, this is the moment we're waiting for. And I think I'm more or less scared to see what type of comps people try to run, because it's either double shield or double bubble. Sometimes a dive, and those can be very varying. You know, it's like a rock, paper, scissors type of scenario.
Yeah, so I don't want to comment too much on the Exodus comp because they're attacking. They have plenty of time to change it. On the other side, though, we are seeing a bit of an interesting DPS duo. We do, in fact, see the double shield, the BAP Brig. That's pretty standard. Commercial, though, is going to be going back up on the Echo and deflects on the McCree. I'm actually not sure how much I like McCree in this case. Definitely pretty good at mid-range. Good when the team tries to take the right room. Not as much. I don't know. McCree's kind of good in any scenario, so maybe I'm just being dumb. But yeah, Laser, though, is going to be, at the very least, leaving spawn on this Widowmaker, so I am very excited to see if he can pull anything off here.
Oh, so am I. Widow plays can be inspirational at moments while we see them taking their space. Gurgler in a very unfavorable position, already has to use the majority of the resources he was able to get there, even diving backwards just to be able to save himself during this massive poke phase, which is the entire reason they played double shield.
Yeah, the Gurgler, if he jumps in by himself, is going to have such a hard time staying alive just in every single scenario. But Lil Laundry is actually able to get the pick off on commercial. How does Azari even get the Echo like that?
Especially that Danny is coming up on the Nano. Now JRG is going to be one going down. Rocket does pop out the window, but they just go around it. They're not even worried. Deflex is all alone, and it seems that they're losing the majority of their team. My goodness, Exodus kind of fighting the expectations there and having a pretty clean dive.
Man, if we had instant replay, I would really love to see how exactly commercial goes down there, but Lil Laundry clearly putting in work in this first fight, 90% of the way to a grab already. Also, Danny has the nano boost, Wizard has the duplicate, and we are seeing wholesale swaps coming out from Kappatilism. The snowball potential here is absolutely real.
Oh, it's in that opening. I love Laundry right now. They built that Graviton Surge. Not every Zarya can do it. And that is such a team fight winning ultimate as we see them preparing to move in. They're healed up. And now they're set. They're pumping their chest. Yeah, look at that Wizard using the copy. He's going to be able to get May. While the Nano goes on to the Monkey, the High Noon, trying to help out, but Deflex is going to be killed out of it. We see Gurgler using the Primal Rage, looking to find people out, and Nova eventually is going to go down to Wizard's Beam. Now they're trying to do their best. That Graviton Surge still inside their back pocket. Gurgler almost going down, but is going to just barely survive. And while this looked to be Kappatilism's type of hold, Graviton Surge is there, and it's going to find Nova, so he can't touch, but Deflex is going to be able to, yet they're still picked off. That's a time bank of 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Exodus, they've woken up. They're angry. They have decided violence onto this game.
Exodus are looking so good right now. It's insane. And now all of a sudden it's Kappatilism who are getting caught out, who are making mistakes, who are seeming to be constantly on the back foot. Now, of course, we have seen these two CP games before where neither team seems to know how to defend. I don't want to take that out as a possibility, but Exodus played that double bubble comp just so cleanly. It's absolutely insane. You would not guess watching that 5/6 of this team have only been scrimming together for about, like, 5 days. Well, like, yeah. I have to give props to Exodus. That looked really good.
I don't know what the coaches are feeding them. I think it's just kind of the adaptability. I've been saying this throughout the entire map, but Kappatilism, they looked strong against a team that wasn't looking coordinated. But now those parts are starting to fix out, especially I'm starting to see what you mean by kind of momentum. I think adrenaline is popping in, and while that increases for Exodus, it's lowering down for Capitalism.
Wizard's going to be pushing on to the Junkrat here, a very interesting pick, going for that just big spam damage onto Nova and Remy as they maybe try and push in. But it's going to be then just up to Laser pretty much on the McCree to try and deal with Commercial on the Echo.
Yeah,
but actually, we're seeing a bunch of swaps. They see what Capitalism are. They see what Exodus are running, and they change their mind. It is full brawl.
Yeah, but why not dive? It's so much easier to just get in and try to isolate a target.
They're not even going right room. They're gonna go main, just try and run right past him. But Wizard takes down Rocket on the intro, and this fight is already over.
They weren't fast enough, and now we're just gonna see Gurgler just put some pressure onto Nova. Nothing's gonna be able to save them, and it's just a cleanup.
Yeah, losing your Baptiste so early is just terrible. Especially when your other support is a Lucio. The Baptiste is meant to do like 80% of the healing for your team. You cannot lose the Baptiste on the run through right there. I'm not sure what Capitalism was thinking going through main. It leaves them so open to spam damage. Now they're going to go in the right room, which I think is the better spot in this scenario.
And now they're moving in, but
again!
JRG! You're getting picked off. Now they don't have a speed to escape. That immortality was played aggressively, but in the end, that's their downfall. Even the shatter from Gurgler is going to be help cleaning them up. He's going to build it back fast. So what's the point in, not using it?
This Junkrat has been such a problem so far for Capitalism. Every time they try and make a move, someone gets taken down by the spam damage of those grenades. We need to be seeing Remy do a better job of eating up that spam damage because their support line is suffering.
Yeah, but Wizard using the Riptire from such a distance, he can hide and play it in any way they want. However, it's not going to be able to find much. Got a little too eager. The immortality was still forced out. That window placed down while we see Laser using the High Noon. Pressures them out, and is able to just force them into an uncomfortable situation, and the rest of Capitalism are going down.
Look at this. This is just showing a tale of two games almost right here. Brawl v Brawl, Exodus are winning it by a lot right now. Already a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock for Capitalism. Even if they had a perfect run from this point on, they would still have a significantly smaller time bank than Exodus does. I mean, this is just looking like a completely new team.
Oh, they are prepared. They are just ready. No jokes in chat because the Flex is using the High Noon. It's not going to be able to find much, but it moves them around. They managed to DMAC and that bombs out, but they managed to find JRG, who is consistently being found out first every time. That sound barrier there's going to be helping. They managed to just shield against that bomb, and it looks like the Flex gone, and the shatter from Gurgler is going to be able to find out Nova and help it clean. Now it's less than a minute. They're just coming up on Blizzard, and they may have an opportunity.
Yeah, this is probably one of the best opportunities coming up for Capitalism, and, it better be, because this is their last opportunity. They have Nova's Shatter, they will have Commercial's Blizzard, they will also have both support ultimates from Rocket and JRG coming up. And honestly, all that Exodus has is the DPS ults, and also probably the Ant Matrix from Danny. So this is a good situation, but they really just can't get picked off by Wizard again during these long rotations.
They seem to want to take that high ground push this time around, but the boop moves them off the window. And we even see Laser just slowly moving in menacingly like a JoJo character. Able to find Commercial! It gets canceled! The Shatter is going to come out, managing to find out Gurgler while the Riptide from Wizard is trying to find someone. It's taking a long route. This may be the ender. Nova's now gone. They have to continue touching that point while we see JRG gone. My goodness, you can't make it up. Not only was the Blizzard canceled, but that entire push is gone, and we are unironically going on to a map 5.
I mean, what can I say? That was the biggest landslide victory that I think I've seen this season in any game in any map. Like, that was insane. Exodus taking Anubis in 2 extremely clean fights, and then just completely stuffing Kappatilism on their attack. The DPS line popped up. I have to give huge props to Aurora there. Because Kappatilism took like 30 seconds to try and rotate up to the high ground and use the Ant Matrix up there. With one boot from Aurora, they all go flying off of that high ground, and that Ant Matrix gets so much less value. I mean, that was just some beautiful play from Exodus, both individually and as a team. And I mean, they deserve a map 5 after a performance like that.
Yeah, but Dividing, do you feel that? Do you feel that in the air? Everyone right now is sitting there. I can feel all the hearts as people are on the edge of their seat. I don't think anyone came out here expecting Exodus to bring in a map 5. People in the community had saw them starting to collapse, heard rumors about the management, and I'm pretty sure everyone came in here thought, oh, they're just going to be rolled 3-0, Kappatilism gets their first thing. Even they thought it, but they've lost their opportunity and maybe underestimated it to the point where Exodus, they're just mad and they're ready, especially on Lijiang Tower. Remember when we talked about King's Row, how the brawl wasn't their strong suit from map 1?
Yes, I remember.
I can't say that I'm not confident in them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to that Anubis attack from Kappatilism, it pretty much came down to a Brawl v Brawl. Not quite mirror, but Brawl v Brawl, and Exodus came out on top quite easily. And I mean, what a story this would be if Exodus is able to finish out this reverse sweep. After last week's loss to MI6, pretty much the entire team gets up and leaves on them. The management is frantically running around trying to figure out trades and picking up people from free agency, and to come back here and honestly bring it to a team that most people had already counted them out against. I mean, even up to this point, getting to a map 5 just shows that Exodus has come to play, and you should not be counting them out against any team.
Oh my goodness! I think every tier list in the entirety of the Legion community is just shattered. What do you do against that?
Well, I mean, I think you gotta bump the Exodus players a little bit higher. That's what you gotta do.
And no longer egoing them.
Yeah, honestly, I've been super impressed, especially with that Anubis game. That was so good. But now it is going to be Lijiang going into map 5, a very well-loved map, and looks like we're going to be seeing no subs at all. We're going to be seeing the same 6v6 going on against each other.
So that means these players are going in with that full momentum. I'd like to see a bit more Rogue. I think they did amazing, but I'm not going to count Laundry out. I think Laundry, after that break, had a very kind of impressive playstyle. They moved in, they were ready, and they came in fighting. But on the side of Kappatilism, who do you want to see more out of?
Honestly, I think it's kind of. I'll point out 3. Okay. I think that Commercial is falling behind in the DPS matchup. I understand that he is sort of shifting over from Hitscan to being the sort of flex DPS for this team right now, but I do feel like he's getting beaten pretty badly right now, both by Laser and Wizard. I think Remy in that last map was not super prepared for the Junkrat spam damage, and some of the spam that took out his support line during pushes could have been mitigated if he had been a little bit more vigilant with the DM. And honestly, part of me, I'm going to shout out Rocket because he has this history with map 5s, and I want honestly,
yeah!
I'd love to see him break it here. As much as I want to see Exodus pull off the reverse sweep, it would also be really cool to see Rocket win a map 5. So honestly, in my eyes, this is a win-win.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know the legend, the story, the myth of Mr. Rocket on the side of Kappatilism, he was in a league called Peach Cup a while back, and he had an issue where his teams could not clean out a map 5. Even in playoffs, they'd lose it, and it's kind of been his weakness. It's been a big meme, at least for me, who personally knows him. So to see him kind of go in this and try to break it out, I would love to see it, but if it doesn't, the meme continues. It's just a curse, but can it be broken? We are getting the R's, and now I'm excited to see who will win out the match. Will this be a reverse sweep for for Exodus to tell their children, or will Kappatilism get their first win?
I mean, I'll be honest, I was hoping for a good game going into this. I don't think I was expecting a map 5. But boy, now that we're here, I am so excited to see it. As we are going to be starting here on Night Market, sort of the map where anything really goes. You could play Brawl if you wanted to. People like to do the sim teleport. You could also run a slower sort of double bubble comp with a Pharah if you wanted to. Seems both of these teams, though, are going to be moving in a little bit more towards that Brawl. Expect to be seeing both teams using that sim teleport into the map early, which is one of I think, the craziest sights in Overwatch, is seeing two teams TP onto the windows of here and just running in and immediately start bashing at each other. And the team that gets there first and is able to claim more space tends to be the one to come out ahead.
I mean, that is true, but Wizards on Doomfist, we see these Ryan charging out in a messy fight. They're immediately split from their sides. Gurgler's able to find out Commercial, interestingly enough, while we see Wizard just looking for a clean pick. Deflect's able to find out Laser. However, both Nova and Deflect are going to be found out by Gurgler, just being able to walk in, press that W. It seems that Rocket's going to be next as the cleanup is there, and Exodus are going to be the first ones taking control.
Gurgler is fearless, and a storyline that we honestly haven't been touching up on much is the Gurgler is facing his former team right now. He is currently Ryan 1v1ing Nova, the guy who benched him on Kappatilism for the first half of the season, and he has been coming out swinging. I think there is a little bit of resentment there, saying, hey, this is what I could have done for you.
Oh, 100%, we see that Shatter come out. It does get blocked. We see them moving in. Wizard is able to find out the flex with a punch. And now they're moving in. Commercial's going to be found out as well while Nova tries to charge. They invest the window, looking to find someone. And Laser's going to be that target while Gurgler gets picked. But it looks like Wizard's going to be there in the backline. It's going to finish off anyone with the hopes of trying to reclaim the fight.
And this Doomfist from Wizard is a huge risk. High risk, high reward. Able to get those one-shots with the punches, but it's very easy to get yourself caught out. But Wizard is doing a fantastic job playing as safe as you can with Doomfist, as now 50% and counting for Exodus on this first point of Night Market. Wizard will have the actually the Space Jam's going to be coming up in just a second. JRG doesn't have the beat to counter it.
Well, we see that Shatter come out. It gets blocked by the symbol. The Graviton Surge is there while Wizard finds JRG. They don't have the sound barrier, and it's just going to be a clean sweep with a couple ultimates.
A couple? I think that was a little more than a couple. That was 5 ultimates there from the Exodus, but now 80% and counting. Last fight territory here, and Kappatilism really has to rush back. They're going to have Remy's bomb, and all of the support ultimates are used to try and mitigate that. So if you can get something with that, that's incredible. Also, JRG is going to be coming up on the beat very soon.
They're placing that TP in the back, and it looks like they're going to take it. That Shatter's going to be missing targets, but the bomb is there, finding Wizard out. This may be the opportunity as we're at 99%. Gurgler is going to be found out by Remy, just looking to finish this out with Commercial, using that Blizzard. That may be one to cost them, but in the end, that gives them a chance to hold this point.
An interesting little interaction there. Kappatilism tries to use the TP to go behind, but the Gurgler sort of reads it and tries to get out ahead with a nice 180 shatter, but Nova is more than ready with the block, and now Kappatilism take the point, but they now have to hold it a perfect defense in order to take this first map.
Yep. So now they move in. We see that window being popped. Commercial is able to find launch while JRG is going to be found out. Now they're brawling in. Nova able to find out Gurgler to help even things up, while Wizard just kind of moves in a bit too far and it's going to be poked out. Commercial making sure to help them evenly when it comes to this, but Laser has that wall.
Yeah, dry fight there from Exodus, trying to get a little sneaky with the TP, which is totally fair. But now they've had a chance to get some ultimates on the board. The wall from Laser, the Seismic Slam from Wizard. Honestly, every ultimate's probably going to be coming up pretty soon for this team.
Yeah, both windows used at the same time, but the shatter from Gurgler! He's not afraid of anyone, and he's looking to take his chance from the free agency as he just hits it, and they move in, capturing this point, and now we need to see Remy touch, but Remy's gone. There's nobody, and we are at the coin flip scenario.
1 round away. That is what is standing between Exodus and the reverse sweep of a lifetime. So much stress this management team from Exodus has been through in the last week, and getting validated with a win here would just, I would think, make everything worth it, be one of the best feelings in the world. Of course, you look at the other side, you see Kappatilism, a team that has yet to win a match at all so far this season, so obviously getting that first win would also be the best feeling in the world. You can tell that both these teams want this so much. As we now move on to Gardens, Wizard currently showing a Sombra. I'm very interested to see who he's going to target with that.
They want to, no, they want to just use it to go out further. They're running out with Shadow Dive. Very popular composition to just move in and play forward. Against this Brawl, how will it do? We see the hat go on to Nova, looking to just make that space. They aren't able to fully commit in yet. They want to wait till that bubble from Gurgler to return back, but that Maywall is going to be there. Deflex does get hacked, and they're just continuously pushing in. Laser goes down low, but it's going to be able to escape. So we see Gurgler just trying to push in. Nova shield down dangerously low, is on the edge of death, and it seems Commercial's going to be the first one picked out. Now Nova just trying to do his best to make that room. Rocket's going to pop out that window. He's going to be able to find out Danny and use that Simwall comparably, but no one's taking capture at the point, so Gurgler's going to be using that Primal Rage, looking to boop somebody around and just put them in an unfavorable position, but it's not much while Remy uses the bomb, but the EMP was invested. We do see Laundry able to find out Deflex, and Rocket's gone too, but JRG's returned. The Sound Barrier being committed, combined out with the Shatter, is going to make sure that that coalescence is basically nothing, but they don't finish out Laser, so now the Death Blossom is a value target, and Nova's going to be picked. Same with Commercial. There's just not much of an ult, and it seems to Dive has just helped them get back faster.
I mean, that was just such a long fight. I mean, I'm not even fully sure what to talk about, because everything kind of happened in that fight. I do, however, have to give a shout out to Wizard, making Nova's life miserable by constantly getting the hacks out, building up a very quick EMP that I think really took the wind out of Kappatilism's sails when they were starting to pull ahead.
And now they're moving in, taking that TP on point through using that Blizzard. They find the Diva. The Death Blossom is placed inside the Immortality, so it isn't going to get much value. Yet it gets them low enough to where Deflex and JRG is going to be picked off. Same with Rocket, and it's just a clean melt as we see them just diving the rest of every person low.
I mean, I don't even know where the Gurgler was to get 2 picks off at the beginning of that fight, but he was just in such a good position. And now, now look at this. Commercial's going to swap onto the Tord. Is going to, I assume this is some anti-flaker kind of strategy. I would almost say a little bit desperate coming out from Kappatilism now. Just trying to take Wizard out of their backline with the turret.
It's something. We see Laundry throwing in the Diva Bomb, and it finds out Torbjorn. But now, even that EMP is going to be popped out. Really hits 2 people, but those are the most important targets. The Shatter even gets committed, trying to make something happen, but that looked like a panic ability as Nova's just trying to hold down in a yeah, Roar's able to get 2 boops out of it, and now they're staggering themselves for such a long time. This is 70%, and they have no ultimates on the board.
Oh, this is looking so desperate now for Kappatilism. They have just about nothing. Remy is the closest to an ultimate with the Diva Bomb, but still needs about 20% left. Meanwhile, the Gurgler is going to have the Primal Rage. Aurora has the beat. Laser's very close to the... Very close to the Death Blossom. We need an insane individual play coming up from a member of Kappatilism, or this reverse sweep is about to happen, Intel.
Yep, we see the boom coming on to Commercial. They're touching that point. The Diva Bomb's out. Gurgler's able to find out Nova, and the Sound Barrier's there. Deflex is able to find out Gurgler, but the Death Blossom's there, forcing everyone off, and the Immortality is baited early. Rocket's ability is there, but nobody's able to touch, and the Curse may still be alive because Remy's gone, and nobody's able to touch. This is such an unfortunate scenario as the reverse sweep is there, and Rocket has cursed another match as we see Exodus bringing it back, winning this out in a game to remember.
My goodness. I mean, I was coming in expecting a show, but we got a show, Intel. And in the end, it is Exodus after everything they've gone through to pull out the reverse sweep and improve to 3-1 on the season. And proving to everyone that they should not be underestimated. I mean, I have to applaud this team for what they were able to put together, especially with after how that match started. Nepal was looking so bad for them. Kappatilism was just looking like the better team on all fronts, and they really turned it around. We really saw them get stronger and stronger as the match went on, and oh man, this is the team to fear. I think if you're one of the remaining teams, Double Cap, Mortal Wombat, Tenacity, you got to be at least a little bit scared of this team now. I think.
Yeah, I think while they may have not looked perfect, they looked incredibly strong, and you had to feel bad for Kappatilism. They just went up against a team that was an entirely new roster, and they just got reverse swept. Luckily, Papega Parents, they are going to be their next opponent in Week 5, so it may be an opportunity. That'll be a match to be seen for sure, but Mr. Dividing, we're going to be bringing someone in for an interview, so give us a second as we go to a pause so we can bring them in, bring them back, and it'll be a clean transition. Welcome! Alright, welcome back, everyone, as we are here after the Kappatilism versus Exodus ending in a a map 5, 3-2, with possibly a debatably player of the match, but the player for the interview, we have Mr. Gurgler. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. What my heart, I was pumping at that last point. Oh my gosh, I was crazy. That's why I love doing this, man. The feeling, the competitive, the map fives is just, oh my god, I love it. I can't get enough. Whew.
It was an incredible match, and I just want to say before I let Dividing kind of take the reels, because I'm really at a loss for words, and I kind of need a moment to think about all this, because it was an amazing match. So I want to get an idea. Obviously, you were just traded over to Exodus, and it's an entirely new roster. So,
Yeah.
how did you feel going into this match, and especially with the outcome?
So I mean, Capitalism, they kind of struggled early on in the season. Um, to be honest, I think they would have. I think I should have been started because I'm the only person besides Nova that really talks on the team. And that team, the only reason that they're not the best team in the league right now is because of comms. So I felt like I should have been put in, but I wasn't. So I was like, I want a chance to start. The past 2 seasons, I got traded to teams that just needed that like leader, the person that can just help take over, both mentally, like help the mentals of the team a lot, and just also in game. I think I'm pretty good, in this level, of course. So I asked to get traded. Trials with Exodus, they went really well. I had a ton of fun. Everyone played great, and I was like, yeah, this team has so much potential. So I asked to be traded, and now I'm here.
Yeah, and I do have to ask before we get into the game itself. I mean, how are things going with Exodus so far? I mean, obviously you won, so that definitely
Yeah.
helps things. But I mean, things were very kind of volatile for a while as players were leaving, new players were coming in. Like, can you give us a teeny little bit of insight into how things are going in the team?
I mean, things are going great. I mean, with a new team, it comes just like a drive to win. Personally, for me, I want to win. I got finals last 2 seasons of League Zero. I'm trying to win it this time, so I grinded a lot. The team's been grinding. We've been doing really good. We're just gonna keep getting better. This isn't even we're not even close to our peak.
Mm.
But I think as an individual right now, I'm playing the best I ever have, and I think it showed today.
Yeah, you popped off for sure. Very interesting thing happened this game, I thought, where at the beginning of the match, you guys looked really shaky. You were making
Oh.
some mistakes. You guys were getting caught out in places where you really shouldn't be. I chalked it up with new roster getting used to each other. But then as the game went on, you guys got stronger and stronger and stronger to the point where like Lijiang and Anubis really weren't close. So, what do you think would credit to that sort of momentum build that happened over the course of the game?
Well, first 2 maps, for Nepal, we aren't really that great at Nepal. We're still trying to figure out, what works best for our team. Obviously, with new teams, it's gonna be hard, like figuring out like precise rotations and comps. And for me, for some reason, first map, I was kind of just like I was kind of out of it. I wasn't calming like I usually do. I was for some reason I was just mentally tapped out that map. I don't know why, but that's also a reason we lost. I honestly blame first map on just myself as an individual because I didn't perform. Going into second map, we had the far idea which didn't work in the end, but we were starting to pick up momentum. I'm gonna be the person that's like it's not over till it's over. Also like Aurora and Cepha, the whole team really helped out with the mentality. All of us have really strong mentals. And then after that, Gibraltar, we put Kate in, nuts Zarya player. He helped a lot boosting the mental. And even though he got subbed out, Laundry just kept it up. I've never played Temple of Anubis with this team. We only scrimmed it once and we lost super hard, and I was subbed out.
You played it so clean. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, no, I think that's 5 minute time bank. That's the fastest
Yeah.
I've ever done on Anubis, and all of everything. That's the fastest I've ever done. And then it just like it kept picking up. I kept just individually. I think I did great, and I think everyone on the team did great. Cepha, great job keeping me alive. Aurora with the peel as well. Little Laundry. I think the whole team played fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally agree. You guys came out strong at the end of that
Hmm.
game. Looking over to the other side a little bit, Capitalism now 0-4 on the season. Obviously, a
Yeah.
very tough spot to be in, especially when not every team is going to be making playoffs. But I do want to give them one thing to take away. So, from your opinion, after playing them,
Hmm.
which player on Capitalism do you think gave you the most trouble?
For me, it's always, I think Remy and Nova. I think maybe Nova had an off day. I know Nova's a fantastic main tank. Obviously not against the Gurgler. No, I'm kidding. But I think Remy is incredible. I think that team honestly just needs to switch a support that can shot call because right now only Nova was talking. When I was in, it was me and Nova talking or just me talking. I think if they got a support player that could just pick up comms as well, they have the potential to be the best. I've always believed that they've had the potential. So They just need to do that. But I think that overall they're still a great team. They just need to keep at it. They just need to get that. Once they get their first win, they're off. But
Yeah.
it's just about actually getting that first win because it's at a point where now it's like you only have 3 games left. Can you actually do it?
Hmm. I don't have any other questions, but I heard that there is
Yeah.
something you need to do as an interview. We need to
Oh,
know
and
why you're called the Gurgler.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
I have one
So
question left.
of course,
Okay.
yeah. Ask.
No,
Yeah.
Go
no,
for
no,
it.
no. We'll leave it at the. I leave it after the gurgle. I
Oh,
need to
okay.
hear the
Okay.
No,
story.
I think the Gurgle has to be the finisher.
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. So my question is, as a new representative of Exodus, as a team, everyone kind of didn't want to watch or just expected to lose. What message
Mhm.
do you have for the rest of the teams, especially the ones higher up there like Tenacity?
I mean, I last season I don't think I was like super egotistical. This season I kind of want to be, so you guys better watch out because we're coming for you. I think that's so cringe. Oh my god. But yeah, we're just gonna keep getting better. I honestly don't care about the rest of the season if we win or lose. I'm just looking at playoffs. That's all I'm focused on. I'm winning this thing. I don't care what it takes.
All right. Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the Gurgler.
Yeah. So just imagine this is capitalism.
I
I get gurgled.
mm,
That's
int-
it.
All right.
They
We
call me
can't
the
actually
gurgler.
see you, but I'll be watching on stream whenever it comes up.
They call me the gurgler.
yeah, I'll have to send that to the rules keeper.
It was good. Yeah, Myth can vouch. Myth can vouch.
All right, but do you have anything really left to say? Because I don't think we have any more
Yeah.
questions.
Any shout outs, any call outs you want to make while you're on stream?
Just shout out to the entire team: Aurora, Cepha, Wizard, Laser, Lil Laundry, Kade, Silent Sword. Oh man, I'm probably gonna forget. SBT, Georgie Boy, and Pear. It's been a pleasure playing with you guys, and I can't wait to keep doing it. And yeah, and then also, obviously, I can't wait to face the Hangzhou Bark Boys and the Frowners guys over at Tenacity. That's going to be an interesting game. I promise. I'll take a few maps off of them. Guarantee you
I
that.
can't wait to see it. Well, thank you so much, Gurgler, for coming on for the interview today. Had a lot of fun.
Thank you for
I'll let
having
you
me.
go celebrate with your team. Congratulations once again.
Thank you. All right, you guys have a great night.
Oh man. Yep. Mr. Dividing, I'd have to say I went in this a bit more upset. I genuinely underestimated, but I was proven wrong, and this has been one of the most exciting matches I've ever casted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a team make such a massive turnaround over the course of one match before. I mean, after the first two maps, I thought for sure that Capitalism had this in the bag, but Exodus, they came together when they need to. They turned things around and they came away with the victory. I gotta say, now that they have 3 wins on the season, 6 out of 8 intermediate teams end up making playoffs. So once you win 3 games, it's honestly really difficult for you to miss it. So congratulations to Exodus. Honestly, I have to give them a quick round of applause because they've been through a lot over the past week, and the fact they were able to put together a winning team that fast, I mean, they have my respect.
They do too. I'll definitely be paying a lot more attention into these games, especially next week. We have a lot of interesting things, but this was only for intermediate. We gave advanced and novice off. So, if you're interested to see how those match goes, but you don't know really when they're going to start, you can follow the League Zero Twitter. We make sure to tweet them out or join the Discord where we keep everything organized. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit that little heart. Myth has been doing the amazing job helping us out, and he does a lot more. So definitely check him out or check me and Dividing out on our Twitters. That's where you can get in contact with us. Either way, we thank you so much for joining us on this League Zero official match, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I'm focused on.
Proclamation, I think. That proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is
That proclamation, I think it's time to see. Well, with that proclamation, all right. Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time. Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism.
I
I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
All right. Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're called the gurgler.
Yeah, so just imagine this is capitalism. I get gurgled.
mm,
That's it.
Well, with that proclamation, I think it's time to see why you're